Good morning, Dickinson, and welcome to the CSSJ podcast. I'm Jonah Lenahan, class of 2026, CSSJ student worker and resident finger snapper at parties. It's subtle, but it makes me feel included.
And I'm Leslie Mazzeno, class of 2024, CSSJ student intern and resident Midwest lover, back to the cold winds and cornfields in less than a week.
You just described Lancaster County, Leslie. Home sweet home.
I don't care what you say, Jonah. Chicago will always beat your so-called central Pennsylvanian city.
Oh yeah? Have you been to the Fulton Theater? Central Market? Wheatland? The Barnstormers? Have you, Leslie Mazzeno, experienced the Lidditz Queen of Candles Festival?
You seem homesick. Don't worry. You'll be back to your quaint roots soon enough, thankfully without me.
You don't know what you're missing, pal.
But what about Boston, though?
Well, this is it. The last episode of the semester. It's incredible how fast a year goes. It feels like only yesterday that we put out our very first episode.
We were so young. So young. At least I was so young.
Those were the days.
Molly, are you okay?
I just can't believe it's already over.
Molly Gunn, are you crying? Seriously?
Don't shame me, okay? I'm in my feels.
It's not like you're graduating, Molly. Get a grip.
Leslie, don't minimize what Molly is going through. After all, spring is our last semester.
Not Molly's. She's failing.
Hey, my French major has been very rigorous, and I have never broken under the pressure, but if you keep talking to me like that, I might snap.
All right, seniors, please calm down. We have a whole spring semester of podcasting and fun before we begin. The Age of Jonah.
The idea of leaving you unsupervised terrifies me. Anyway, we have an episode to do. Today, I'm interviewing Anne Maitland, DEI Administrative Assistant, the keys to my morning coffee, and the holder of many other wonderful and well-deserved titles. She'll be talking to us about her time at Landis House and her love of the Grazery.
Listeners, if you know Anne, you love her. And if you don't know Anne, you're about to love her. And if you don't love Anne, I don't want to know you. And if you don't know me, you don't want to love Anne. And if you know Anne but you don't love me... Wait, Molly, where was I supposed to be going? Molly? Leslie, I can't believe she bailed on us again. Honestly, somebody needs to file a report or something. This is getting unacceptable.
Jonah, relax. She just left to go out into the field.
Oh, okay. Good riddance, am I right?
I can still hear you, Jonah. It's finals, guys. A lot of us are looking for a place to rest, get some studying done, and prepare for trips home or wherever we're going. Landis House hosted a study break yesterday with fun crafts and a relaxed atmosphere. Here to talk about that, we have... Oh my goodness, it's Bug. What a relief. I thought you were Jonah.
Yep, that's me. Not Jonah. Kind of the reverse Jonah, except that we both work at Landis House.
So, Bug, what's going on with you these days?
I don't know, Molly. Didn't we just talk about this at the staff meeting?
Well, Bug, not everybody was at the staff meeting.
Me, you, Jonah, Leslie, Cody, Alisar. I'm pretty sure that everybody was there. Why are you prying into my life like this, Molly? I like you. We're just not that close.
No, Bug, the audience. I'm just trying to be a good correspondent. I'm corresponding.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll co-respond to your question. Pig and Curious is hosting a Yuletide food drive in collaboration with some of the Christian groups on campus because both Christians and some forms of pagans use a Christmas tree, quote-unquote Christmas tree, in their celebrations. So I'm using the motif as a tree and allowing people to get just non-perishable food donations and stuff like that to donate to Community Cares, which is the homeless shelter in Carlisle. We are collecting donations through the end of finals. I know that the posters say the 13th, but I've extended it to the end of finals. The box is right outside D-Den, so if you're getting groceries for yourself at the D-Den, you might as well think about getting something for the Yuletide food drive as well. We're accepting any non-perishable food items. You can also give hats, gloves, scarves, because it's cold out. And yeah, that's about it. I really hope people donate.
That sounds great, Bug.
Slay.
This week, we're joined by Anne Maitland, Admin Assistant for Landis House and the Division of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and my mom away from mom at my home away from home. Anne, welcome to the studio.
Thank you, Leslie. Thanks for having me.
So, if you wouldn't mind starting by telling us a little bit about yourself, your background, upbringing, religious identity, whatever's important.
Sure. My religious upbringing is Roman Catholic. One of 6 children in a tiny little Irish Catholic family. Unfortunately, due to a divorce, I am now what is considered a lapsed Catholic due to the fact that I did remarry outside of the Catholic Church, so I am no longer allowed to receive the sacraments, which is heartbreaking, but true.
How and when did you come to Landis House and Dickinson?
I came to Landis House in Dickinson 2.5 years ago, August of 2021. I was looking for part-time work, and this job actually happened to be listed under a part-time position on the website I was using.
Definitely not.
Which is definitely not. But I thought, whatever, I'm gonna give it a try and go in for the interview. And, once I heard what the work entailed, I was very intrigued. And I, surprise, surprise, was hired. So I decided, well, it's not part-time, but let's give this a whirl.
Yeah, and I hope this isn't too sentimental, too sappy, but I feel like a lot of us at Landis House probably could not imagine it being the environment it is without your smiley face at the front desk.
Oh, I so appreciate that.
It's just, I feel like there are a number of positions around campus that get underlooked because they're just admin positions, but people who run all the little things behind the scenes are the most important people in so many ways of how we do stuff. And directors would not be able to hold the events that they hold. Student workers would not be able to hold do these projects like this podcast without someone sitting at the desk and making sure that we are all checking our emails and that we actually have funding and that we actually have work schedules and all of those really, really important things.
Well, I really appreciate that. I really do.
We just really appreciate you as a person, as a part of Landis House.
Well, I so appreciate that. The students, obviously, that's what we're here for, and I really, really appreciate all the relationships I've made. And yes, I'm a mom and a grandmother, so I do tend to worry about all of you as though you're, my babies.
And that's an important thing, and I've said this before, I say this fairly frequently. Landis House, there's a reason it has that house moniker. It's not just an office. It really is a home for a lot of us. For students with marginalized identities who engage with the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, it can be hard to find a space where you belong. And that's true for our LGBTQ students. I see them in there all of the time, just hanging out and going to talk to Tommy, and when Todd was the director, going to see Todd. Students are always in Reverend Davis's office to engage with Popel Shaw Center. And so I think it is important to have those more home elements of Landis House. And I think that you bring that to that environment.
Well,
and
thank you. Yeah,
really
we strive to do that. Oh, thank you so much. I love all of you too. Yeah, it's really important that you feel you can come to the house, and we are there for you, and I love having conversation, and I'm learning so much from all of you as well, which is really important to me.
Do you feel the Division of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion has changed a lot in the time that you've been at Dickinson? I know it's a short time.
It's a very short time. I don't know about change. I think with the hire of Tony Boston, our new CDO, I think things are, we're trying to broaden the spectrum. Of course, across the planet, DEI is taking a hit. So
yeah.
It's only been 2.5 years, so I would say we're just doing the best we can with where we're at right now.
We've seen, just as students, a lot of turnover in our directors. We've had turnover in WGRC, we had turnover in LGBTQ Center, and we've had turnover just within our admin assistants. We've hired Alice Arjalal, who is wonderful.
She's terrific, yes.
And I think that affects the way that the DEI space changes.
Well, it does. I mean, I thought you meant DEI across the board changing, but oh my goodness, yeah, personnel-wise, there's been so many changes over the last 2 years. It's difficult sometimes because you have to learn the nuances of new directors who are my bosses. But yeah, there's been a lot of change as far as personnel changes, which is, I guess, par for the course. But I didn't realize it would be such a small window that there have been so many changes.
Yeah, it's coming into Dickinson. I mean, my freshman year, 2020 to 2021, that was the peak pandemic year. That was the year that we were entirely online. I came to campus for 7 weeks. In the spring 2021 semester, I was on campus from mid-January to mid-March. But all my classes were online. I was trapped in this tiny dorm room with my roommate, which, of course, forced us to have this wonderful bonding experience, but also I was trapped in a tiny room with my roommate.
Right, exactly.
And so I've really only had 2.5 years, now going into the full third year with this upcoming spring semester, to get to know these dynamics. But even in that, my first year, we were pre-Katie in WGRC. Todd Nordgren was still at LGBTQ Center, and now we have Tommy Lee. And so it's like just within those 3 years, we've seen so much turnover. So I think I imagine what it's like to be on the administrative side of that and to see that and to have to work with that both in an interpersonal way, like we do as students, but also in the professional way.
Correct. Right. Because I started in August of 2021, first day of school, actually.
Wow.
That was quite interesting. The two administrative assistants that were there before I were already gone. So I came into the office to like a little notebook, and
oh, wow.
We were just post-pandemic, so we still were not doing things in person. And then, like you say, Donna Bickford was the director of the WGRC. She and Todd Nordgren, the director of LGBTQ, are the ones that hired me.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And so here we are 2.5 years later. Both are gone. Both have moved on. And so, yeah,
They've gone into the great beyond.
Yes, they've gone into the great beyond. I don't mean that. I mean, they're both doing very well. But it's been quite a... it's been quite a journey, actually. It's fun to say that other than Cody Nielsen, I'm one of the originals at Landis House over the last 2.5 years.
You're one of the original Avengers, and now we're moving on to like phase 4, and you're still here.
Phase 4, I'm still here.
Do you have a favorite memory of your time at Landis House?
There are so many. Honestly, I couldn't pinpoint one. It's just the interaction with the students. It's not only the administrative things I do for the students, but the conversations we have and the events that I go to and help out with where I'm hanging around and having conversation. Mm-hmm. I just love the interactions I have with all the students. It's such a learning experience, truly. So, just the fun administratively and helping out with what you guys need, but also just the wonderful conversations we have.
And safeguarding the coffee maker.
From
Jonah specifically.
And begging Cody not to buy any more tea. My goodness, we could open a tea shop with the amount of tea we have. If anyone out there would love a cup of loose leaf tea, please stop by Landis. We've got so many flavors and black teas, green teas, white tea. Just please stop over.
She's calling you out, Cody.
Sorry.
Oh, no, don't apologize.
Actually, no, I'm not sorry.
This is my bonus, what do they call it in baseball? Curveball question.
Right.
I'm not a sports person. Don't worry about the metaphors.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite event from any office? Is there an event every year where you're like, I can't wait for insert event?
Wow, you're really putting me on the spot.
I'm not trying to start inner Landis House drama.
I don't want to start inner Landis House drama either, and I don't want any of the directors to think I don't love them each individually, and they're all my favorite.
That's
but I
so
would,
mom. That's
right?
such a
like
mom
they're
answer.
all my favorite. But I would have to say the one that means the most to me for a personal reason as well is Out on Britain. I really, really enjoy being a part of that event, not only working behind the scenes, but working and being there and talking to people.
Yeah.
And so Out on Britain would have to be it for me.
Again, not starting inner Landis House drama.
Well,
but we're hoping that new LGBTQ Center Director Tommy Lee is listening to this and he knows.
Yes, I'm trying to score bonus points where I can, Leslie. Right? I mean, it is Christmas time. Who knows? There might be a gift card in it for me.
Right. To Pliables or the Grazery. Grazery gift card is the #1 best gift that you can give a Carlislean. I truly believe this.
I would have to agree with that, yes.
The Mellow Bird sandwich is to die for. I don't know why it's called that, but it's very good.
Jonah, how did you know that's my favorite menu selection? Shout out to the Grazery. Hi, Maria.
Thank you so much, Anne, for joining us today. We really, really love and appreciate you. I know I keep saying that, but it's because I truly mean it, and I know that we all do. We really love having you here at Dickinson, at Landis, and of course in the studio today, joining Jonah and me.
I so appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I love you too.
Oh.
Leslie, finals are here and people are tired, so as we prepare for this strangely long, frankly unwarranted break at this non-specific time of year, I've decided to help our fellow students find some joy. To do that, I went searching through the secret CSSJ archives and discovered something I think you'll all find amusing. Who doesn't love some CSSJ lore?
This is an anonymous, original poem written by someone I don't know, who is probably long dead and gone by now, so there's no reason to look for her, criticize her, or make fun of her when she grabs 6 Reese's from the candy bowl and runs upstairs to work.
Hey, Leslie.
Molly Louise, how may I help you?
I was just wondering if we could all participate in the poem reading. I am a creative writing minor, after all.
Okay, fine. I guess we can popcorn read. Even if that's not what the author may have intended for their work, I will begin. 'Twas the night before winter break, when all through Landis House not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The mailboxes were emptied and the office cleaned with care, in the hopes that a restful vacation soon would be there.
The student interns were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of higher paychecks danced in their heads. And Anne in her jean jacket, and I in my cap, had just settled down for a long winter's nap.
When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash.
The street lights on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave the luster of midday to the objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a blue Honda Accord and no tiny reindeer.
With a Minnesotan driver so lively and fun, I knew in a moment it must be Cody Nielsen. More rapid than eagles his interns they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name.
Now Jonah, now Molly, now Anna and Bug, on Leslie, on Katerina, on Ezra, and that's it. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, all.
As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky, so up to the college the coursers they flew, with the office full of religious equity, and Cody too.
And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, through the front door, Cody came with a bound.
He was dressed in all color from his head to his foot, and on his wrist was a watch carefully put. A maroon coat he had flung on his back, and in his fake glasses he looked rather whack.
He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the mailboxes, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, out the door he rose.
He sprang to his car, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Nonspecific winter holiday to all, and to all a good night."
Oh, wow. That was such a creative poem. If only someone on our staff had the talent to put something like that together. What? It was anonymous, right? From the archives? I don't get how this ancient poem has references to Jonah and Ezra in it since they're just sophomores.
Please just wrap this up, Bug. We're not paying you for your opinions. Actually, we're not paying you at all.
Something's fishy here, Jonah. I just have a curious personality.
Your investigation will just have to wait until after winter break.
I will never back down. Never.
He's gonna put up a cork board with tacks and strings and everything now. A Landis House conspiracy theorist. The last thing next semester needs.
Relax. I'll use Pinterest.
Pinterest? What year is it? God, I can't with you people sometimes.
All right. Goodbye, Bug and Molly. I hope you both have a wonderful winter break.
The truth will come out.
See you later, alligators.
Leslie, they're gonna cause so many problems in the spring.
Enjoy us while we're still here, my young apprentice. Winter is coming in more ways than one.
You're mixing franchises. That about finishes us up for this episode. Join us in January when we return. I've got a whole month to write the next episode, and let me tell you, it'll be a doozy.
He's going to write it in one night on January 21st. Happy holidays to all if you're celebrating something, and otherwise, enjoy the football season, I guess. Not that Jonah and I will be. Stay warm out there.
The semester finale of the CSSJ podcast is brought to you first and foremost by Anne Maitland. Anne, you are the bedrock of the DEI division, and we are so honored to have you and your jean jackets with us every day. Special thanks to interviewer and Russian ballet trading card collector Leslie Mazzeno, host and aggressive dull number 2 pencil user Jonah Lenahan, and correspondent and office waterworks Molly Gunn. Thanks to Bug Adams for making the winter season merrier for many of our neighbors. Finally, thanks to Dickinson College for letting us try something new, or at least not stopping us yet.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If you had to throw one of your staff members into a volcano for a ritual sacrifice, who would you pick?
That's a terrible question. And I have to choose people that I had as former students, not current students.
You wouldn't just pick Jonah?
No, I can't just pick Jonah. I need Jonah around. What's going to happen when you leave, Leslie?